Hey guys, FatBuddyCat here. How you doing? Well, it's Sunday morning, starting to clean up the shop, and I looked down, I found this mini bike here. So let's two-bird this thing. Alright, so some of you might ask, what is this guy talking about? He calls himself FatBuddyCat, but he has a dog and now he's talking about birds and things. Well, two-birding, guys. It's a lot like two things at the same time. Okay? So while we're cleaning up, we're not literally going to be throwing stones at an avian woodland creature. We're just going to try to find something to put together, alright? And get rid of some of these parts at the same time. Over here we already have the torque converter that came off of this bike, but the hardware that would have been for this would have been a Predator non-Hemi. That's missing. Okay, so moving on, we have the 196 program, and believe it or not, this is sort of like a 196 program. Maybe we'll pull that out. It's the GX160, guys. Ah, yes. This is a fine specimen. Alright, guys, new revelations and sudden changes of plans brings out this dusty Jiangdong JF200. This is one of those stock Trailmaster engines. This one came off of a Trailmaster Storm 200. Okay, this is the same motor that you get on the MB 202. Alright, so this is already set up for a torque converter. It's got the cam, and we'll get into all that stuff, but let's get it on the bike. It's pretty straightforward. Getting it on the bike is the plug and play part. Then we gotta set it up. So let me bolt her down. Alright guys, so one thing to note with these Jiangdong JF200s is with this classy recoil start they have, they're slightly extruded about a ½ inch from the side of the fan shroud, okay? And with the ergonomics of this bike, it's quite noticeable in the peg area. Alright, so I have this nice official Tillotson recoil to put on there. Let's see if I can't get it to fit right. I don't think there's a clearance issue, but let me check. Alright guys, might as well really keep them guessing. We'll throw that Tillotson 212R shroud right on there. Alright, at the same time, just made a quick inspection. The PVL flywheel, made sure it was still there. Still good. Okay, so the big racket ended up being in the recoil starter cup. Okay, as you can see, this one is longer and extruded for the JF200, for the Jiangdong. Okay, so that's not going to work with a regular coil starter, because you're going to go to put it on, you know what I mean, and you're going to have that offset. The normal cup is, you know, pretty much subtract the offset. So we got a brand new one. Alright, this was from Everest Part Supplies, and to make things really easy, we have a foot-pounds torque wrench set for 54. Okay, this is our removal tool. Removal only, not installation, guys, because we have the crank holder tool from our friend Grey Goat at OMBwarehouse.com. I'll show you how that works. Alright guys, and this is how the OMB crank holder tool works. Alright, you put the key that comes with it in your keyway. You take your assembled tool, alright, you're going to line that up. It goes on for your keyway there. Make sure your key sits in flat. Okay, and then you find a hole. You make sure you're not cross-threading, all right? It's easier with a longer bolt. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tighten that up just a little bit. You don't have to send it home or anything. Okay, I just used my ratchet wrench and I just snugged it in there. Make sure I get a few threads on, that's all. Okay, that's it. Okay, I line my starter cup up. I make sure that it sits flush. And then I just finger tighten the nut, okay? I'm gonna get a small extension to fit my socket. And I'm just gonna torque it on. Alright guys, here we are, right on the bike, alright? This is how easy this is. It's locked in. I have one hand on that, that's it. 54. Alright, we're good. Starting to see what I mean about having the right tools and the best friends in the business. Good stuff, guys. Alright, well, there's some close variations in these things that are making them a little bit particular, so dang you, Jang Dong, you're gonna get us on the housing, but I'll be darned, we're gonna get you on that recoil, boy. Okay, we got our fan shroud back on there. We're gonna get all of our 1/2 inch back. Okay, next thing up, guys, while we're here, we're gonna swap this carb out. All right, I know we got a fresh gasket back there, and I know we got a carb just chilling up here. All right, we're gonna see what it's got for a jet, but that's one of those PK Tillotson jobs. Alright guys, so the PK3A checked out. This motor has a CS cam in it, alright? Cheater stock, which is high ramp, low duration. It might eat, alright? Or it might go a little rich on this, alright? I'm not sure yet. I believe this has the stock piston in it, a dish piston, but this has a 14cc head, so we'll see what it does with this carb. If anything, we'll just jet it back to like a 35 if we have to. Next up is the governorless linkage, also from our good friend Grey Goat at ombwarehouse.com. Alright guys, got in my box, grab the clevis, we should be good to go. Oh yeah. Alright, we're going to be changing the spark plug on this and hooking up the fuel line next. Alright guys, next thing we're going to do is get our pop stopper on there. This is our performance exhaust from ombwarehouse.com. All it is a side exit staged header with a 1 5/16 RLV. Get you some. Alright, this motor comes equipped with a kill switch. So I had kept the factory wiring, so it's all plug and play there. I'll just mount this up on the handlebars, up on this side. Okay, now that we got a kill switch and a new air filter on there, fire it up. Make sure there's no leaks in the carb. I already checked the oil. Choke it up. do. Alright, just another example of why I love my OMB Warehouse torque converter riser plates. This thing's all set up, ready to go. Same with our torque converter. This is the one off this bike, so we got a 420 sprocket snugged right in there. Torque converter is secured. Next thing we're going to do, guys, is put our chain on. Connect our master link, and then we're going to look up here. We're going to roll the bike back and forth, okay? And we're going to be looking at our alignment and making sure we're straight, because there is a little bit of deviation that you can do when you tighten your motor down. Well, this works perfect for you guys, because now that deviation came into play, alright? So all my bolts are loose, holding my engine to the plate, okay? I had to do that just to be able to get my chain on. Now that's how I have this chain set up, okay? You pull the tensioner all the way down, you put your last link together, and that's it, okay? So now that I have the chain on, I'll put my master link on, and now I'll go up here. I'll make sure that I have good spacing on my chain. Alright, I'm nice and even, I'm in there, okay? And I'll tighten my motor down. And one of the last things, I'll just finish putting my torque converter on. I have all my spacers and bushings and stuff in here. Okay, so everything should just bolt right up, even though this shaft is a little bit longer. The space away from the face of the plate to make our pulleys line up should still be the same. Alright guys, I'm down to a little bit of stuff on my work area and a blown out cover from last time, okay? So we'll 86 that. We're not going to try to fix it. It's not worth it at this point. I have two options. I either have the old Hot Boy, right? Or I have this blue one that's brand new, okay? Now, speaking of blue, I did put a little bit of Loctite on this one, and I made sure I was torqued down. We're going to go ahead and use the new cover, because now that I'm looking at it, we're a little bit wider. Okay? See? The blue one's wider. And that's going to set us off our pulleys. Oh well. Okay. Looking good. Now I have room to measure this thing up, and pretty much all I'm going to do is stuff the one cover inside the other, get as close as I can, mark it with a purple marker, and then cut it out. Alright, so I just hit that with the angle grinder, and then a little action from Kyle the File. Alright guys, we're running out of daylight. Let's do this thing. And that is what the OMB UTB is all about. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty fast. Okay? And to me this proves one of two things. A, why everybody needs a doodle bug. And B, why we save our 196s. Alright guys, before we wrap things up, I'll just give you another quick overview on this motor now that you've seen it run. Okay, as mentioned before, this is a Trailmaster motor. This is a JF200. This came off of the Trailmaster Storm 200 that I had. Okay, this motor was built with parts all from OMB Warehouse. I do have a slideshow, all right, that's available on the build, but the long or the short on this one, guys, is it has a JF200 block. All right, this has a ARC stock length, so it'd be like the 303 billet rod. This has a Dyno Cams CS grind cam. This has 22-pound springs, stock valves, but this also has an Everest 14cc head. All right, so we have the same size valves as the 200 would have, but we have more compression. All right, and that paired up with that cam is why this thing maxes out and jumps out of the hole so fast. All right, the 22-pound springs really let it rev up good too. In comparison, carburetor wise, guys, this is way better. Before I was just running a non-EPA carb on this thing with a couple jets in it, night and day. The response out of this thing is ridiculous. Again, this is just a PK, 3A, highest flowing stock carb, they say, by karting rules. So that's that, guys. Really a lot of fun, a lot to handle. Glad I put the kill switch on it, and really glad this thing has the OMB hydraulic brake on it. Alright, guys, I'm going to be getting to trim and stuff on a few other bikes in a couple days here. We might be getting after this one tomorrow. I just have a number plate to put on it and some more decals and stickers and stuff. We lost a few of them in the last episode, so we'll get it back. But you know what it is. Ooh, nice and clean, huh? Alright, guys, you have a good night. Thanks for watching. As always, it's a work in progress.